If I had the chat open on Justin TV, I would just start answering questions. Might do that while he's AFK. Let's see.
Alright, apologies for that.
Oh, no problem.
My sister's dog decided to take a quick bathroom break also, so thanks a lot, Callie, for dropping that on me. So, we think we got time for maybe, we've only got about 20 minutes. We've been playing longer games. How about this? We'll play one more, but I want you to kind of come at me with some sort of early game.
Alright.
Call it an all-in or what have you, and I'll just defend it as best I can.
Alright.
And if, and truth be told, I'll probably die to it, but
it's
not,
you know, a lot of times, like, I was actually helping Machine, like, he was in the finals of some tournament the other day, I don't know, I guess about maybe a week ago, and he was playing Druby, right? So he was worried about Steps of War, losing to some kind of all-in or something, so we talked about it, and we literally just played, like, different scenarios of, like, different Terran cheeses and all-ins with this 2 racks opening.
Mm-hmm.
And we found that if you just open, like, fast speedling on the map, and, like, you make a fast spine crawler after you expand,
mm-hmm.
that if he comes at you with an all-in, you just cancel your expansion and you're, like, ahead, because he pulled so many SCVs. And it worked like a charm. Like, Machine beat me, like, 4 games in a row when I tried pulling SCVs or something.
Right.
It was, so...
But, I mean, that's only going to be applicable if I go pool first.
Right. But see, I usually like pool first openings if we're like close positions or something. Like if I'm really close to you, like for example, close positions on Metalopolis. Like I'm 9 o'clock, you're 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I actually prefer pool first openings because it's like much safer, and it's harder for them to all in you or something. Like we even saw Idra do it versus Jinro in the match. Of course, he got bunker rushed or something like that, double bunker block,
mm-hmm.
wall in, but. In a normal game, I guess, it would have worked. You know,
Alright.
It is a safer opening in my opinion.
Well, maybe we should start experimenting with some pool first stuff then. So I'll go ahead and I'll go pool first this game, and you bring your worst, and we'll just see what happens.
All right. I like both openings, to be honest. I mean, as Zerg, like, but both are very viable. You know, like even the 15 hatch opening, it's really good because you get that so much more economy. I feel. You know, you don't have to worry about the fast speed for Zerglings. But then opening pool and getting the fast speed for the Zerglings, it shuts down the harass so much quicker.
Right.
Like Terran loses map control much faster than normal.
Yeah.
All right. So what map should we do this on?
I think we might as well make it on steps since this is kind of what we're talking about. I think that'd be probably a good way to end the show because every Zerg and his brother.
Zerg's favorite map, right?
Yep. Loves this map and loves losing the cheese on it.
Alright. Fair enough.
So your advice here, and Machine actually talked about this yesterday when we had him on the show, is pool first, speed first, and then cancel the expo if SCVs are pulled.
Exactly.
Alright.
Yep. You use, after you start your expansion, lay a spine crawler in your main. That way you can just transfer it to your natural when your hatchery's done, or if they all in you, you have it already built.
Cool.
Alright, let me invite you to the game. Flabulous.
That's me.
Alright. Ready?
Yes, sir. Go, good luck.
Alright, good luck.
Go, good luck.
GLHF.
Alright, here we go. And if it's cool with you, maybe after this game we can take a little Q&A from the folks watching.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
That's actually what I was doing. Like at the end, I thought, you know, well, he's AFK. I might as well go to the chat and see if anyone has questions.
Sweet.
But right as I was like starting to load up the chat, you came back. So.
Oh, bummer.
I know I missed the opportunity.
Well, we will make another one for you here.
All right, sounds good.
Really, I've enjoyed having you on the show today. I think it's been really cool, a different spin on it. And rather than hearing Zerg players say, Mutilating Bane is the only way to play it, it's nice to kind of hear the Terran perspective and the kind of hear it from a top Terran that actually maybe Mutilating Bane isn't always necessarily the absolute best
Right.
thing.
Like
to do.
there's like yeah, like we're not questioning that Mutiling Baneling isn't like the standard. It's a great solid play. It can beat anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I feel like it's not the only thing that is viable in the game. Like some people will make it out to be like, oh, Zerg's so one-dimensional. Oh, we only can do X,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I don't really see it like that at all. It's like no, like people think that all the time. That's the reason the game like always evolves. But if people never try other kinds of styles or do anything else, then it's like their race is really hindered from ever evolving. You know, it's like, for example, Jinro beat Protoss with mech. I didn't think I was ever going to see that in a GSL game.
That was
you know?
sweet, man. And he didn't just beat a Protoss player; he beat the
Yeah,
best
he beat
Protoss player.
he beat the best Protoss player exactly. So it's like, and he kind of revolutionized a new style of play that I wasn't even aware that could work. To be honest,
Yeah.
it was like, wow. So, what else can work?
Those
There's
games
still
were
tons
so
of.
insane. God.
I know they're inspirational to Terran players all around the world.
I mean, I know Jinro's always been a stud, but he was not that good in Brood War. I mean, he was great, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah, I was better than Jinro in Brood War for sure.
I mean,
And
we're talking like
now he's fallen.
he's top 5 in the world.
It's true.
At least it appears that way.
No, I'm pretty sure he's top 5. I think that's safe to say.
All right, so I went speed first, getting the lings out now,
All right.
and I'm just going to expand around 21, which is
Okay.
about the normal time for this build.
Yep. So your expansion should have already been started. All right. Should have already started your spine crawler in your main.
I'm doing this preemptively. Oh, there's Marines.
Yeah, you build the spine crawler on this map for no reason. Like, you can use it later on because you're going to want it if they all in either way.
Alright, so there's the SCVs, so I'm going to actually cancel the hatch, but I want to wait, right, until it takes some damage?
You can, if they just bypass it, which most good players would, because it's risky, then, yeah. And on to the Zergling build. But see, now you got a spine crawler up, so it's much harder for me to get around. And yeah, I think that's about it.
That wasn't that hard at all.
It's not. I actually haven't beat anybody with this crap since they make that fast, or machine. Since we were working on that thing, he beat me with it every time, which is funny because when we started working on it, I beat him like 5 games in a row with this dumb all-in.
Yeah.
And good game.
Sweet. Awesome.
Because I had like, I pulled all SCVs except I think like 4 or something like that. So a really low number.
And I didn't even cancel the expansion, so.
Yeah, so like you don't. It's not even necessarily you have to. It's like, but if they do sit out and they just like bunker up the back, then you're still ahead economic-wise. Because I mean, if you take part of how much time my SCVs were pulled off of minerals going back and forth, and then if I built bunkers down there or something, it still feels like Zerg is fine. Like they could just Baneling bust out and expand or something.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask a couple questions here,
All
and LZ, have you thought about mixing 2 to 3 ghosts into your marine tank push against Zerg? I find that ghosts with snipe really rock infestors and marines. EMP is also pretty good, he says.
Yeah, I've done EMP versus Infestor and stuff, but it's also kind of difficult to, like, usually in the mid game, gas is not something that just Terran comes by easily because of upgrades. I mean, if you think of two upgrades, then you have a reactor building 2 medevacs at a time, and then tanks. Like, Ghost costs a lot of gas, 150, so it is quite a big investment, and they're really effective if you get Ghost or something. You can catch the Zerg army off guard, because a lot of times they just don't build, what's the Overseer, I think is what it's called,
yeah.
right? Is that the detection? All right. Yeah, an Overseer, so you can get some sick EMP snipes. So they can be viable, but it's still like the more types of units you add into your army that's different types of micro and different types of things, the harder it actually becomes. So I wouldn't like teach somebody, be like, okay, you want, because the ideal army would obviously to have like almost all kinds of units in a Terran army. Like in almost every matchup, it'd be like, okay, you want some Ravens, you want some, Ghosts, but every unit you add that has like another ability or something else is like another thing you have to micro or pay attention to. It's like another thing you have to multitask as well. So I wouldn't like start off teaching somebody, it's like, oh, if you want the ultimate combination, you need, 3 of these, 2 of these, the rest Marines, 2 fact tanks while expanding, drop in his main, drop at the 12 o'clock expansion at the same time. It's like, it's so much to multitask.
In other words, why do all that stuff when you can just make Marines?
See, that's what I'm talking about. You can just hold down the A key on the racks. It's like you usually achieve the same screen, right? The victory screen.
All right. LZ, on the game on Lost Temple, I felt like Mr. Bitter was ahead for practically the most of the game. He crushed your army decisively, but he made one big mistake. I feel like that mistake was using all the fungal energy on the medevacs. Could you make a statement regarding that?
Well, that is practically the biggest mistake he made. He wasted, I think, like 4 fungal growths, and those were really what he needed, because I came and attacked with my army right after that, because I saw he wasted all his energy.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the energy bars, of course, in StarCraft 2 of your opponents as well. And so I was like, oh, he has no energy on his I want to say defilers, infestors. So that was like the perfect moment for me to attack. But otherwise, he had like map control. Like, all Zerg has to do is like win one battle, and even if they lose that main battle, initial battle, like we saw, like I won the battle, okay, but he maxed instantly with Ultralisk. So his army then crushed my army because of that. Yeah. Like, I just didn't have enough reinforcements there, didn't have enough stuff, and then because of his army composition was just so beefy, he just ran through all my like planetary fortresses or something.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And that's like the beauty of Zerg. It's not that you win the initial, max versus max battle. It's that while you lost the battle, you're still maxed.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Cool. All right. Dear awesome LZGamer, I love the Ling Baneling Infestor opening, and I'm definitely going to try it out, but I'm worried about fast Banshee harass, as I doubt I'll be able to get Infestors in time to stop that. How can I, or how should I be dealing with Banshees using this opener? And how can I scout effectively? What should I be looking for to know that they're coming?
Alright, well, I think you should always build a 3rd queen. Always. Like, I don't see why there's not in every matchup with Zerg, except maybe ZVZ, because that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they always have, they're always beneficial, whether they're going Phoenix harass or they're going Banshee harass, and you also have the ability to spread creep so much quicker, having that 3rd queen out. So that stops Banshee harass, like early Banshee harass, like way before. Like, by the time a mid-game Banshee harass comes, you'll have Infestors by then, and then all it really requires is like 1 fungal growth. But you still have like the queens at every base, which stall long enough for your Infestors to make it across the map.
Yeah.
And if they are going Banshees, you could just leave an Infestor at every base while getting your Spire, because they're wasting a lot of their gas and minerals on all this teching, especially if they're going like Cloak and all this other kind of crazy stuff. And that'll the Queen and Infestor will stall long enough for you to get the mutas up to counter anything they're doing.
Inspire Tech hard counters Starport Tech pretty hard, right?
Oh, really hard.